Interesting week. I think, well, first we should probably introduce ourselves, shouldn't we? Like, given this is the first episode, right?
Okay.
Who are you?
I'm Kelly Avritt.
Yeah, I'm John Avritt, and I think we're calling this the Unfiltered Counseling
Sounds
Podcast.
like it. That's why I'm here.
Yeah, unfiltered. So, you know how I roll in with clients is as I ask all clients after we go through our intake stuff to be raw and uncensored, and really I do that because
You
not
want
only.
to cuss because you want to.
Yeah, pretty much. I just want to cuss in session. I just want to be as unfiltered and real with them as possible. And I hope that they give me the same, because I think that's, in order to change, we can't always just be polite, right? Nobody came into therapy session because things are awesome. And we certainly don't with clients, and with ourselves. I think everybody can speak to this, is how we speak to others is much better than how we speak to ourselves. And so if we talk to others how we talk to ourselves in our heads, we wouldn't have many people to talk to. So I really want to, in sessions, want that realness and the authenticity of raw and uncensored. And so completely unfiltered in sessions. It needs to be that way, I think. It's because change is messy.
Change is a process. It's not an event.
Absolutely. And that process, just like cooking and cleaning up after someone I know who cooks really well, that is absolutely a process, and sometimes a very long event.
Yes, maybe a little laborious.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Cool. What'd you ask me at the beginning?
I said, "How was your week?
Oh gosh.
What got on your nerves this time?"
Well, this time that implies things get on my nerves, babe.
I meant. Sorry, I meant.
Yeah.
How was your week? Tell me all
Yeah,
about it.
yeah. Every week in private practice is a good week. We're very fortunate to be busy, and people trust us. But I have started to notice like this trend with clients lately, and I don't know if this is a cultural shift that's happening. I don't know if it's just the current climate in our country, or if it's a mental health shift across the board. But people, and it's all ages, and it's not only our adult clients who are either active duty military or veterans, or even our adolescent clients who are here. They seem to be like really dug in and like refusing to bend, right? They are sure they're right. They're in complete survival mode. And I think that they're attempting to be tough and resilient, but it's also defensive, and it's almost immovable. And it's been a challenge recently to convince people that they're the ones that need to change.
That they're stuck.
That they're stuck. Yeah, like digging your heels in the sand and weathering a storm is great, but you can also get yourself stuck by doing that.
Sure.
And we talk a lot about resilience, and it's a word that became very popular during COVID. You hear, we're resilient people, we're going to make it through. And so it became this buzzword and almost overused, I think. And it was used to help us like become more mentally tough, that we will survive through tough things. We will keep standing, through all of the hard times. I heard all these, on the news, and all these people with very strong opinions talk about we've been through hard times before, and we'll get through this too. And what I think gets lost in the recipe of resilience is that you have to be mentally flexible. If you're not agile in your thoughts, like driving in traffic, like, you will get stuck in traffic. And I think that's what people are going through right now. We are stuck. We appear to be stuck in mental traffic.
But aren't we stuck because maybe it's because we're all overstressed, right? Everybody's burnt.
Yeah.
It seems like.
Sure.
And so that's what I can control.
Yeah.
I can, this is safe to be uncomfortable, and it's safe to be whatever a mess I am, because that's what I know. Is that not part of this?
Part of resilience, absolutely. Yeah, is weathering the storms, right? Like if you're going to say to yourself, I am the most resilient person on the planet. Well, that's like saying, I just built the strongest house ever built. It's ever known to humans. What if I asked you to prove it? And then the only way to prove it is what? You can't just look at it, right? If you took a sledgehammer to it and said, okay, I'm gonna whack this side of this house, and look, no damage. I'm like, okay, well, you still have to prove it. The only way to prove it is to actually have a storm, right? And so, to be resilient, you need storms. And when you go through tough times in our lives, and, in order for you and I to get to this place where we're doing a podcast of all things, we've had lots of storms. Everybody that will ever listen to this has had storms. But after the storm is over, after you've made it through, you stood there, you were tough, you held your ground, and you realized this too shall pass, it's time to be mentally agile. You have to move and be flexible and make some changes so that maybe when the next storm hits, that storm is not as rough, right? And I think for whatever reason, in our climate right now, in our society, and people are going through hard things, we're bombarded by it. And I think that our news and social media and what the information that we ingest might be making it this way. It's raising our cortisol levels to record levels. Our fight or flight is always on. And I think everybody's fight or flight is in like overdrive right now. And I think that's what's causing people to like say, I'm going to stand here, I'm going to take it. But they're missing opportunities when it happens to be flexible and to change. Yeah, I think some people come in, they're looking for a solution, right? But think about the other healthcare professionals where we're looking for solutions. We go to urgent care, we go to our primary care, we go to a pulmonologist, we go to a orthopedic surgeon. Like there is a problem, there's a medical model to it, and they're hopefully going to lead us to a solution. And in mental health with therapy, people show up, they have a problem, they have something that's causing them angst or pain or whatever, and they're looking for a solution. And then when they leave us, everything is solved. And I think that's kind of a myth.
It's the expectation.
Yeah.
But that isn't the reality.
Yeah, no, I don't. I think that it's not a reality. What it means is we've helped you get through this storm. And hopefully along the way, you've got skills.
We get you some coping skills.
Yeah, coping skills.
You technically should be working yourself out of a job.
Yeah.
Like if you're really that
yeah,
out of a job,
exactly.
you really should be working yourself out of a job. So how long have you been doing this?
Oh gosh. Well, it's strange. I've been a licensed professional counselor now for almost 15 years. Owned a private practice for a little over 2. But arguably, always done this, right? It's, and you and I have talked about this a lot, like our journey, not only our marital journey, but like what got us to this point where, we're sitting here talking on a podcast. And, going back to my early professional career, coaching, like I was a coach, high school coach and a teacher. Charles. Prior to that, in college, I was Charles in charge. I was a Manny. Yes, that's a good term. I like that. That's an okay term. Mm-hmm. It's okay. I'm not ashamed of Manny, right? And I did pick him up from school, take him to camp, bring him home from camp, help him with homework, put him to bed. Yeah, right. Allowed their parents to go on date nights. I was their Manny, right? It was, and it's funny because that was like just a few years after Charles in charge. So that was like cool back then.
Cool.
Yeah, that was cool. Yeah. And so what led us to this point, it arguably is maybe I've always been in this role, and it's this becoming this best version of us that got us here. What got you to this point? You're here too.
You drug me.
I did, actually. Yeah. Now that I look back. No, but like
27 years, like our relationship,
or yeah, we've been.
That would be you not getting out of the gym in time.
27 years, yes.
And that we're here today.
Well, all good things happen in a gym. All good things happen in a gym, even if they don't start off like great, but it turned out great.
One more time, not following the rules. You wouldn't get out of the gym.
Well, yeah, true. I don't like. We should probably tell them this story, right? Yeah. So for those interested in our origin story, I was a high school basketball coach at Hyde Park Baptist High School in Austin, and we had summer camps. And she was working in the child development center.
But I had after school kids, so I had.
Yeah, so she had after school kids, and it's hot, and it's the summer, it's Texas, and so we were supposed to be out of the gym at a certain time of day.
4 o'clock, I can tell you.
4 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that seemed early to me, so I didn't want to listen to those rules. I did not like 4 o'clock. So she would bring her kids in at 4 because it was like blazing hot on the playground, and so going into the air conditioned gym was it was lovely for the kids, right? And we would stay and play. And we would just keep telling the kids to sit in the bleachers, wait till this game's over. And some games went longer than we're almost done.
Almost done.
You know how it is. You got to win by 2. So some games go in overtime. That's the way it goes. So she would get frustrated with me, and I just thought that was flirting. So, and now look, we're married. So
just to be clear, that was
some things never change, and some things never change, right? I don't follow the rules, and you get frustrated, and I think it's flirting, and it's not.
I'm like, no,
it's not.
It's not it.
That's not how that works. No, but like you've always been a great teacher and a great coach of others, right? Even, I mean, you coach me all the time.
I don't know about that, but I think I'm a teacher first, but I mean, I think you are as well. You've always been a counselor. You've always been kind of a coach.
Yeah.
I think you're either that way or not. I don't know. I think there's an innate ability.
Yeah.
Which is why you got out of the classroom, right? It was, you went into counseling because
I went into counseling because of you, because you helped point that out in me, though.
Well, I just knew you loved the mental aspect of the game. Like,
Yeah.
Your favorite thing. And I loved watching your players like get choked up or they choke completely, can't function. And somehow you'd figure out a way to like either make them laugh or get them to change state at least, and you could get them to do anything for you. So you got out of teaching and coaching because that was kind of that's your gift, right? That's your.
Well, but at the time I didn't know it was my gift, and so I was really stuck, right? With like a lot of our clients get like they get to this point in their lives and they're stuck, and they're not sure. It's like we have this fight response, we could have a run response, or we can freeze and get stuck. And in that stuckness is where we get anxious and nervous and almost paralyzed to make a decision. And it was you that sat me down and said, because all of my coaching friends that got out of coaching, either they completely got out of it and went somewhere else, or they all became principals. And I knew that wasn't me. I did not want to. That's a different chair in the school building. Definitely that is. Yeah.
Broke so many rules on the campus.
Yeah.
You were
Yeah.
letting kids be unsupervised. You would go have them get you breakfast tacos and meet you at the back door. Like
they were
you were the teacher.
Those breakfast tacos in Galveston were worth breaking rules for.
Oh my God.
100% worth breaking rules for. They're probably still doing it.
Oh yeah. Bronco.
Yeah.
Bronco.
That's right. Exactly.
I got you, coach. I'm already late.
That's right.
Yeah, you were texting. I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
Ugh. Anyway.
Well, the principal's chair is a different chair.
It's a different chair.
And so, but I didn't know what I wanted to do. And I, at that point, was like, I'm just a dumb coach. What am I qualified for? And it was you who made me sit down and like list what are the things you love most about coaching. And right at the top of the list, it was almost like this, finding the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. It's like an aha moment. It was so simple once I wrote it, and you have like, it was the relationships you have with players and like that aspect of helping others who are stuck become unstuck. And I was like, oh. And then when I went to school and started to actually study this psychology stuff, I realized, oh, I kind of like school. I kind of like this subject. This all resonates. But it took you, and this goes back to like the client piece is it takes someone like you to coach me and to help me realize there is a way to be flexible here. You can still do what you love. And it literally was like traffic. You taught me how to detour and get back on my road at a different, and eliminate the stuff.
I don't think I taught you to do that. I think I gave you confidence to change.
Well, yeah. Okay. Fair.
I gave you the confidence to change lanes because what you had always encountered was this is what's comfortable. You're not a risk taker by nature.
Yeah.
I'm the risk taker. I'm the one that's wild, I would say, a little wilder than you were.
Well, that's your barrel racing days talking.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah. That's Kelly Green, the rodeo queen.
That's my raising.
Could
be.
Yeah, that's definitely your raising. Like, that's a little hint of your mom. Little hint, little Deb in there.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
Whatever. But
Yeah.
but I think I gave you the confidence to change your lane because you, in your mind at that time, thought I'm stuck, and you didn't know how to get unstuck.
Yeah.
But I think people have to have another person that.
Well, that reminds me of, and this is one of my favorite stories of like our origin, is when we got married. We renewed our vows, and we met the priest that did our vow mass. Convalidation's the Catholic word.
You're older than me and been Catholic longer than me. You should know.
Yeah, I know.
Right,
okay,
right.
convalidation for all of for keeping score in the Catholic Church. He had just finished studying to become a Franciscan friar, and Father Solanus. Got to give a shout out to Father Solanus, and his very first mass ever as a newly anointed Franciscan friar was in his home church. And he was kind enough to not only baptize our youngest son, but also perform our wedding vows, our renewal, our convalidation. See, I'm a learner. And prior to doing that, he had all of his brothers for the friars come down from New York to witness it as a big celebration.
It was his first mass, his first marriage, and his first baptism.
Yeah, it was very
trifecta.
Awesome. Yeah, right.
We got a lot of good.
Well, I feel like we helped him as much as he helped us. Like we helped him check a lot of boxes.
I know. I forgot about that.
Like if this was training, he got it
all.
all.
Talks to us, which is also
That's true.
Good. You can always have a priest in your pocket. It's good.
Yeah. So during that time period,
all the help we can get.
We met with some of his brothers, and they wanted to like visit with each of us separately and kind of do like this impromptu marriage counseling. And this shaped kind of again with the mental flexibility and helping people get unstuck. And it really is my philosophy in therapy and seeking help. He asked me a very strange question because I thought we were doing marriage counseling, and he asked me if I go to church, and I had to be honest, and I said, "Oh man, Father, I'm sorry. We sort of kind of fallen off that. We haven't gone a lot lately," and so we talked about that for a second, and then he asked me this strange question. He was like, if the power was out and you got home at night, could you find your bed? It's pitch black in your house. Could you find your bed? And I was like, right off the bat, I'm like, yeah, of course. And he's like, are you sure? And I'm like, well, yeah, like I know where it's at. He goes, exactly. You know where it's at. Would you step on stuff? I'm like, well, yeah, we got 4 kids. Of course.
Legos, for sure.
Yeah, we step on Legos and Hot Wheels and whatever. And he goes, would you be feeling around? Would you walk slower? Would you walk faster? I said, well, I definitely wouldn't walk faster. He goes, but you would eventually get there no matter what. You might have some bumps and bruises and you might be upset, but you would get there. I was like, absolutely. That describes it perfectly. He goes, well, wouldn't it be simpler with the lights on? And I'm like, yeah. Like, where are we going with this? He goes, that's church. He goes, going to church illuminates that path. Do I think you are a good person? Absolutely. Do I think that you believe in God? Absolutely. But going to church illuminates the path a little brighter. And I took that and I'm like, that's kind of like our purpose as counselors. Do I think people are resilient and tough? Absolutely. Like human beings have made it through a lot of stuff. Like we put up with some shit throughout the years, right? Like I understand this time period in the United States, we got some bumpy roads, right? We've had some rough patches, but what decade hasn't? So my job as a counselor, and what I do see as good in our clients, is their willingness to allow me and other therapists to help them illuminate the path easier. Do I think they can survive whatever they're going through and eventually get unstuck? Yes, I do. I think people are inherently tough. But my job is to light the way and to illuminate it a little bit brighter for them. So what what I have seen clients, even though when they first present to us, they're digging their heels in and they're defensive because they feel like they're being attacked on all sides. When they are engaged in therapy and they sort of realize that with me and with the other therapists in our office, they can be raw and uncensored. We can be who we really want to be. They start to let those walls come down with us. And that segues into letting walls down with others. And they're beginning to demonstrate mental flexibility and agility. And they're opening their mind to different possibilities. I think the different possibilities has branched out and segued even into the psychedelic world of mental health. And the possibilities that exist in that psychedelic world with both plant-based medicine and other psychedelic medicines. And people are just, they realize they're tired of being stuck. They realize that they're tired of just standing there and taking an ass kicking from the world. And you can only be like tough for so long before your resilience is just chopped down like a tree. And, because a tree that weathers a storm can only weather so many, right? Before it's another tree's turn. And so the good thing about what I love to see in our clients, like I really love seeing it, is when their walls break down, they get vulnerable, and they're able to realize that, oh, I got to change what I do, and it's they realize it's a process. It's not just snap the finger event. If you're waiting for an event to be the catalyst,
I think sometimes people do.
I think so too.
I think we're conditioned to be that way, right?
Mm-hmm.
Everything's instant gratification. And if people don't get it, like customer service is a thing of the past almost. Like you cannot, if you have a problem with an order, you can't talk to somebody.
Right.
You have to wait 3 to 5 business days for them to email you back. So like we're used to buying things instantly, but resolution's not fast.
Yeah. But I do think events can be the catalyst for change, right? But only a catalyst, right? Like you and I have been through so much stuff in 27 years, right? Job changes, moves, people come and go in our lives. And because of those events that occur, not one of those events was comfortable to be in. Like when events happen in our lives, they're often uncomfortable and we didn't see them coming.
And most people will do anything to avoid discomfort, right?
Absolutely.
Like nobody's wallering in that for fun.
Like our fight or flight that's the cool thing about fight or flight. Like it's a badass system. It keeps me alive, right? It kept me from getting too close to the Grand Canyon because I hate heights, right? Like I didn't realize I knew that hole was really big because of my fight or flight.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, right.
I'm just saying.
Yeah. But it overprotects us, which means we are all wired to watch out for the bad stuff. And so
we're really only wired to be fearful of 2 things. Heights, like fear of falling.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And noises.
Yeah, true.
Those are the 2 things you're really wired to be afraid of.
Yeah.
The rest of it is learned.
Absolutely.
Right? Experience tells us to be.
Well, that's what's tricky and beautiful and also fucked up about being human. All in one. It's we are beautiful creatures. We can do all kinds of cool shit, right? Art, music, podcasts, play sports, right? Drive cool cars. Animals can't do any of that shit. But their fight or flight is better than ours.
100%.
Because their fight or flight always works the way it's supposed to work. Threat, predator, do something. We have threat, treat it like a predator,
go
do
back
something.
to it the next day when work's over.
Yeah, exactly, right. And we keep going
thing.
back and over again because we think we can change the threat's mind.
Yes.
But also what counts as threats for humans? Everything counts as a threat. Being nervous, being uncomfortable, bad memories, bad experiences, bad relationships. That great book, The Body Keeps the Score, it tells us that we have a supercomputer here that's storing all this data of other past uncomfortable situations. And if we get any reminders at all of the past uncomfortable situation, your fight or flight switch goes on and your brain says, hey man, you don't like that. Remember that last time you felt that? Oh no, that sucked. Let's get out of here. But is that threat the same as the past threat? And so we are wired for this and this uncomfortable feeling. So these events that occur that flip the fight or flight switch on, if we are mentally flexible and agile enough, we can, and tap into some self-awareness, can realize that, okay, I'm stuck right now because I don't know what to do. I don't know if I should fight. I don't know if I should run. And who am I fighting and where am I running anyway? And so I don't have an answer, so I get stuck. I'm going to stand here. I'm going to take it, and I'm going to take it, and I'm going to take it. And the good thing about people, I think, and what I love to see, all these positive messages on social media, I think people are liking them. You start to see the likes and the people sharing what they like, and it just multiplies out there, is that we're taking advice of others. Like, we're ready and hopefully open because we're tired of feeling this way. And so certain events like spark us, but to begin the process of change, because it absolutely, it takes time. And honestly, are we ever done being resilient? I don't think so.
The only way you hone those skills is through adversity. So
yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Like weathering the storms, like going back to the house. It's like, how do you prove you have the strongest house ever built known to man? You better have a storm to prove it, right? The only way we as humans will ever know if we are resilient, if we can handle shit, is we gotta have shit happen to us. And unfortunately, nobody can predict when that stuff's gonna happen.
Have you gotten to see, tell us about a patient that when that switch happened, like they went from being unable to weather the storm to, I've got this. I've got this.
Oh man, I've seen that quite a bit with people, and it's really, that's, in therapy, sometimes it's, you don't have this data. I know we all want to like put out.
You don't get any positive feedback.
I don't get like, you don't get this sometimes measurable data that you can look at and say, of course there's these assessments out there, but depending on the day, depending on the person fills it out, there's always this with an asterisk, take the GAD-7 with an asterisk and go, okay, whatever. But you do have these moments with people where they begin to realize that they are free. You almost see their body language change, whether they struggle to be sober for years and years and years, and now they're celebrating their 2-year sober anniversary. You just see it in their body, see it in their mood, see it in an aura. Even if it's a virtual session, you can see it in that person, how they're clear and they're not as defensive, right? They're open-minded. It's their approach to everything. Yeah. So that's really nice to see in what we do. But again, when they stop coming,
you don't know if you sucked.
Like, I hope they stop coming because
better.
they found a solution, right? Like, yeah.
Or you were just not.
Maybe we just didn't mesh. I don't know, but don't know. So this is the kind of stuff we're going to talk about from in this Unfiltered podcast. Yeah,
I guess so.
Relevant issues in mental health. Right.
And then what's aggravating me that day? That week?
Yeah. No, I think we should hone in on that day.
Oh, just that day. I mean, it's too big.
Really,
too big
of a thing. We'd have like a Huberman-esque episode if we talked about.
So I mean.
No, and me too. Though, if we were both talking about what aggravated us for the week, like this would be like a marathon episode.
It could be.
Right. We'd have to have intermissions and shit like that.
Well, we're about to see our kids tomorrow.
That's a whole episode. So that's a big episode.
So that'll be we'll have a lot to talk about because the girlfriends will be there. Maybe both girlfriends.
Well, that'll be fun.
So we'll see.
Yeah. I'm interested to see, things we talk about in the future. We'll talk about children and our kids, and you'll hear us reference our kids a lot. And we are having
kept them alive. We feel good about
we did our job, right? They didn't die. So, I mean, but they're relatively functioning. I'm interested tomorrow, at this big birthday dinner. We have 2 kids that are celebrating birthdays a week apart, so we combine this big dinner. And all the brothers go, and they bring, if they're dating at the time, they can bring their girlfriends and whatever. And 2 of the girlfriends for sure are coming. And I'm curious to see, do they sit next to each other? Do they sit next to their boyfriends? Do they band together in unison because they're afraid of the others? I don't know. When the 4 boys are together, whatever girlfriend is around, they tend to be picked on and I don't want to say bullied because you're not allowed to say that word, but like that girlfriend is really earning her stripes, right? Like she's getting
at this
points.
point, Kylie's been there the longest.
Kylie has been there the longest, so
she kind of has.
So she may like take the other one under her wing,
maybe, or
and
are
like
they going to be adversaries? We don't really know.
I don't really know. Are they going to compete for attention, or is Kylie going to feel like I've been here longest?
Is Kylie going to help her understand the rules?
Oh, I think Kylie's going to not do that. I think if I was Kylie, I would sit back and watch and enjoy that someone else is the target.
I see.
Yeah. These are the things that we have to deal with four boys.
So we've talked about getting stuck and unstuck. And so what is, if you had to give one piece of advice or one kind of quote, or because I know how you love to talk in quotes and movie lines and such.
Well, movie lines are my favorite.
I know they are.
Yeah.
I think you taught.
It's a fun game.
So
when I have one locked and loaded for the answer to your question, I'm sure.
But it's like I know you.
It's almost like you know me or something.
So what quote or advice could you give?
Well, let's go back to the 80s and reference the movie Planes.
I was 5.
Yes, I know. Yes. You weren't 5. Stop
I was 5 in the
in 1980. Okay, late 80s, right? Late 80s. The movie Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, right? And for those that don't know this movie, two strangers decide they're in an airport, their flight gets canceled, they got to get home for Thanksgiving, and they decide, John Candy and Steve Martin, and they couldn't be more opposite individuals, but they decide the one rental car that's left, they share it, and they're going to drive from, I think, New York to Chicago in the middle of the night so they can both get home for Thanksgiving. And John Candy takes the first driving shift, and again, it's middle of the night, and it's storming, blizzard outside. They decide to drive. And John Candy starts driving, and Steve Martin, as the passenger, he takes the first nap.
He does.
Right? So he falls asleep. Well, John Candy is the stranger of the two fellas, and he falls asleep at the wheel, and he shifts as he's driving asleep, goes across the median of this interstate, and wakes up and is like, oh, okay, everything's good. He does not realize that he's on the wrong side of the highway, right? So Steve Martin wakes up, and he's like, okay, we're good, right? He doesn't realize it either because he was sleeping. A car pulls up on the other side, and they're shouting across the median and they're shouting at Steve Martin. He rolls the window down a little bit, and he hears them, you're going the wrong way. And Steve Martin's like, and he looks at John Candy, he's like, he says we're going the wrong way. And John Candy, quick as a whip, how does he know where we're going? And Steve Martin's like, yeah, how does he know where we're going? Thank you, bye-bye, right? And immediately when they turn back and stop looking at this guy shouting at them, they realize an 18-wheeler's coming head on. And the message to those two guys and to everybody from this episode that feels stuck is don't worry, right, that you're going the wrong way. But at least listen to somebody else's perspective. Be willing to hear someone.
You're going the wrong way, maybe think about it.
Yeah, maybe you are, right?
Consider it.
Maybe you misinterpreted what they're saying. They're not trying to threaten you or tell you you're wrong or tell you you're or failing. There's no need to treat that person in your life or this thing that's happening to you in your life as a threat that is a predator that's trying to hurt you. Lessons and storms and things that make us uncomfortable are sometimes in our lives to help teach.
Make us better.
And make us way better, right? Yeah. And it's so hard to think that the things that are going on in our society right now are going to make us better because we're like real short on evidence maybe right now, but it is going to make us better. The things you're going through that you may be stuck now, if you just go find someone that will help you turn the lights on, you will find your bed. You will find your way through the storm with fewer bumps and bruises, I hope. That's the whole point of all this. That's the whole point of Unfiltered Counseling. That's the reason I'm in private practice and so many other people are in the mental health profession, because we want to help people get unstuck and look at something a little differently so they're not John Candy and Steve Martin about to go head on into something.
Sure. That's all the time we have for this week. Thank you so much for watching Unfiltered Counseling. We'll see you next time.